You know, Andy, that wasn't what we thought we were going to do, but miracles happen. When you are partnered with the right vehicle, miracles happen. And miracles have happened for Matt and Shantae Hall as well. And we're so excited to have them with us tonight to share their story with you. Today, they are Presidential Diamond, Brazilian founder, maybe the youngest presidential diamond. I don't know.
I think so.
Make us right, Matt. Help us be honest if that's not exactly it. But they have changed so much over the last few years, and we've just loved watching the journey. Matt.
Hi.
Hey, so happy you're here. Your hair's growing out. I love it.
I know it's coming back. I don't have to hide it under the hat anymore. The things quarantine will do, right?
It's so true.
You should shave off your whole head and go bald for a while. Thanks for the invite to come and just share a little bit of our story as well. And I just want to start honoring you guys, hearing all these stories and you know, hearing about the impact that your yes made. And that's what strikes me about doTERRA every time. Like, you who's watching this video, who you're not a part of this family yet, and I think of doTERRA as one big family. Like, think about the impact of one person saying yes, and the fact that that could spill over from this amazing couple into the lives of 1.4 million people is absolutely incredible. And our life has been so deeply impacted by your yes, Andy and Natalie, that I just want to honor you and thank you for what you represent to everybody that's on this call. I think everybody would agree with me. And what's beautiful is every single person watching this call, you have the chance for your yes to make the exact same impact from here moving forward. And so the phrase that kept hitting me over and over and over again as I was listening to all these amazing people is your positive experience in doTERRA becomes your obligation to share. And my wife, when 9 years ago, she was living in Taiwan and she was struggling with some emotional challenges and looking for a solution. And someone in Taiwan had the courage to open up their mouths and share with her the essential oils, doTERRA essential oils. And that was our first exposure to the products. She ended up using those products just as a customer for a long time. And then when she came back to the United States, she actually wanted to be a part of the mission of doTERRA. She didn't even know what it was. I remember we were dating at the time, and she was looking at, in classifieds, and she saw an ad for doTERRA corporate hiring. And she was like, oh, I want to be a part of this company because of what the products have done for me. And she had only purchased 3 of the products retail, right? And then she actually contacted doTERRA to see if she could use her Chinese, and they were like, no, we're not hiring at the time. And it's kind of a funny story, but we ended up getting connected to Andy and Natalie through my father-in-law, who said, hey, if you want to be a part of doTERRA, this is the way to do it. This is the way that you can build the biggest impact. And I think this couple, they're pretty good at doTERRA. I think they kind of know what they're doing, so maybe talk to them. And so that's how we got our exposure to Andy and Natalie. And to this day, it makes absolutely no sense that they decided to take us under their arms and mentor us in doTERRA. If you think about where we were at the time, 22 years old, going to the local college here, no money, no influence, no friends that had any money, probably every excuse that you can imagine to not build a business. My last 2 jobs before doTERRA, one was an on-campus job, and the other one was I was a sucker bagger in a factory actually super close to where Andy and Natalie lived, the candy factory, where I would go in. I was a temp. I'd go in and I'd take a sucker and I'd put it in a plastic bag. I'd turn the plastic and I'd tape it in a little tape machine. So I'd just put that sucker in that bag, twist it and tape it. And that was my last job before doTERRA. I was a professional sucker bagger. I will tell you, those of you who want to do doTERRA and you want to have some success, I was the best sucker bagger. So I was the fastest. I held the record for getting the most suckers in the bags and getting them taped. And be the best at whatever it is that you're doing, right? But then luckily we got exposed to this amazing couple, and they showed me a vision for what my life could be. And at that time, I was thinking about becoming a doctor. I was thinking, because I loved health, I was thinking about going into international business because I had a love for people in Brazil, where I had just moved from Brazil. And they said, hey, why don't you look into doTERRA? And my wife was already bought into the mission and the movement. I think you guys have seen the pattern that it's an obligation, if you want to be a strong leader in doTERRA, that at least one member of the couple starts very, very skeptical. It's like an obligation. If one of you who's listening in the couple pair is not like, this is stupid, this is weird, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to have success. Like, just listen to all the stories, right? And so I was that skeptical husband. I'm so grateful that I could bring that guaranteed success to our family. And like, I remember when my wife showed me the emotions book, and I remember literally, like, I flipped through it and I was like, who wrote this? Like, this is crazy. Where's the science behind this? Look, I've actually got this is proof that I have children, is when you find Pokemon cards in your essential emotions book. Anyway, so it took me a little bit to wrap my head around the product, and it was really then my experience with the digestive issue that I had that woke me up to, wow, these products can make a difference in people's lives. And I won't go into the details, but that thread of your positive experience becomes your obligation to share. That's what woke me up. It wasn't the science. It wasn't all of this crazy stuff that now we have about the oils, all this knowledge. It was my personal experience with the products that then woke me up to the mission, the movement, and the cause that is this incredible company of doTERRA. So from there, we are not the story. Again, I don't know why the Goddards decided to take us under their wings, because we are also, and they decided to stick with us. We are not the story of the fastest growth curve in doTERRA. We actually sat at one of the basic levels of doTERRA that's elite for almost an entire year. And even during that entire year, and this is a credit to the Goddards, they sat down with us every single week. Every single week, they dedicated an hour of their time to help us grow and improve and get past our limiting beliefs. And I'm so grateful to that. Like, think about, at the time, like, we're talking about literally the most successful people in doTERRA, and they were willing to sit with somebody who was stuck at elite for almost an entire year. While they had other teams that were like popping diamonds like popcorn, right? It's like a diamond, 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 diamond. And we're like, ooh, right? And every single week there comes the call, hey, are you coming to our house? What time can we expect you? And so that's just a credit. Like, in what industry does that happen? In what industry do you have somebody who's extraordinarily successful that will sit down and mentor you for free? I remember the first time I met James Bybee, he looked at us, and I know he was like, the Goddards are so crazy, because he looked at me and he's like, do you realize who these guys are? You should be paying them money for them to mentor you. It was a really cool conversation. And I was like, wow, like, it's so true, so true. And so where in the world do you have that? You get it here. You get access to incredible people who have created amazing things. And whether your story is one of fast success or it's one of long-term growth, I promise you doTERRA will absolutely transform every aspect of your life. And so fast forward to now. I don't want to take up too much time, but I think the biggest difference that doTERRA has made in our lives is it's transformed us as people. So before, every single limitation, every single excuse that we bought into, at some point, through mentorship and through understanding and personal development, we decided to make that a reason why we had to have success. So in the beginning, we were saying we have no money. Like, we can't afford these oils. We paid for some of our first LRPs donating plasma, selling our blood to buy oils. We're like, we're going to do whatever it takes, right? We're going to do whatever it takes to make this work. And we just kept going. We kept moving forward. And so we didn't let that limitation hold us back of we don't have money. That became the driving factor. It was like, what do we need to do to create more abundance in our lives? What do we need to do? idea of, hey, we don't have any influence. We don't have any influence, right? To leverage in this business. Well, guess what? There's no better business for you to be in to create connections. Like, it doesn't matter what business you're in. Think about if you are a restaurant owner, and this probably isn't a great example for right now, but if you're a restaurant owner and you want to fill up your restaurant with people, join doTERRA. Because guess what? You're going to have immediately a huge group of people who want to support you in every aspect of your life, right? If you're a lawyer, guess what? There's a huge network of people in doTERRA who need a great lawyer, an accountant. So doTERRA will fuel your life in every aspect that you can imagine. And then it will also create a path for you to create freedom for yourself. And you don't need, it doesn't matter where you start. You could start as a professional sucker bagger in a factory, or you could be a high paying corporate executive, or you can have your own design firm, and doTERRA will bring you enormous value. So since then, we've been able to build, obviously through the ranks in doTERRA. I had to recently take down one of our videos from YouTube that talked about our success, because we've been able to achieve so much success. Results are not typical. You have to work extremely hard. This is not, what I love is it's probably going to be fairly easy for you to create an extra income in doTERRA. Like, you can just plug people into this training. Think about it. Think about all the amazing stories you heard today. Wasn't this persuasive? Like, all you need to do is get 30 people on to the next call, just like this. Just get 30 people to watch this call. You're going to have 5, 10 of those people who are going to buy into the mission, and they're going to be like, wow, I want to do this. I want to be connected to these amazing people. And boom, your business is growing. But if you want extraordinary results, which is also an option for you in doTERRA, I invite you to commit to the long term, like we did. I invite you to commit to doing it until it works for you, not just to see if it will work for you. So if you're kind of on the fence and you've already been presented doTERRA, jump in with both feet. If you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, yeah, you'll get paid like it's a hobby. You'll be spending money and you'll love the products and you're gonna have an amazing experience. But if you wanna do this as a business, I invite you to go all in. And that's the way that you really create an extraordinary result for your life. So that's it. Thanks, Annie and Natalie, for all that you represent to all of us who are here, and all that you represent to our children, to the next generations, all the people who are not yet a part of this family, all that you guys have done to serve them. And I don't know about you guys, but there has never been a better time. Let me just end with this. Like Andy was saying, there has never been a better time than right now. There's never been more velocity, more momentum in doTERRA with everything that's going on in the world. Just like Andy said in the beginning, you have access to the 2 things that the entire world wants. Like, the entire world wants health, and they're awake to their financial fragility or their financial need. And so now is the time for you to be bold and to offer solutions. And those who offer solutions are the ones who create abundance in their lives. By bettering the lives of other people, you create value, and that value flows back to you. And so think about the number of people, millions of productive people who are sitting on their couches right now praying for a solution. My dad's company just had to lay off hundreds and hundreds of people just to stay afloat. That's hundreds of people who are productive individuals. They don't want to just sit back and be victims. They're not looking for the government to just give them a handout. They're looking for a way for them to produce. And so be aware, like, this is the time when producers are ready. There's never been a time when you can grow at a faster rate than right now in doTERRA. And if you don't have that belief, then those of us who do, we'll see the fruits of that belief. And so if all you had to do to be successful was believe, was shift your belief, would you do it? Would you do it? If that's all it took, would you shift your belief? And that's our invitation for you today. Believe, take the first step. You don't have to know everything. You're going to have amazing mentorship, people that will be patient with you as you learn, as you evolve. And if you really embrace this and jump in with both feet, you will not recognize your life in a year or 2. So thanks again for letting me join in.
Mic drop. Thank you so much, brother. How old are you?
I'm 30. I just turned 30
years old, and this guy is dropping wisdom like he's a best-selling author. So you were talking earlier about when our other legs were popping diamonds like popcorn. Talk to us about your April, Matt.
So April, we had 2 new presidential diamonds and six new diamonds on our team. The month before, we had another diamond, and we had 3 blue diamonds. So you know, some of us in the microwave, it's like that silence. So you just hear the silence, but eventually it starts to pop.
So here's a little picture of some of that popcorn that's going on for Matt and his team, because he was so committed and so consistent. Like, it's the harvest cannot be prevented. So thank you so much, Matt, for sharing that passion and sharing that wisdom.
I love it. Thank you. Namaste. Look at all those high fives.